Hello everyone, I'm Morning Angel. Today I'm going to show you the process of porting a MaxisMatch male shep hairstyle. Johnny Sims has open permissions, so this hair actually will be a part of my upcoming mod hair pack for male shep. Since this is a longer hairstyle, it will also be an opportunity for me to show you guys the weight painting process, which is actually quite easy. Okay, first we're in the Sims 4 Studio section. Let's go for the lighter hairstyle choice, because we're gonna export the diffuse for our diffuse making process. I already exported it before, but let's do it again. We're gonna choose this, or you can just write it obviously. There are two options here, PNG and DDS. For hairs, I always choose DDS because the hair can have some sort of transparency, like on the roots and such, or in alpha hairs, it could have a whole transparency. So it's always good to go with DDS because PNG for some reason doesn't really cover those bases for this particular program. So we're just gonna save it and replace it since it's already there. Then we're gonna go to the mesh part. Then we're just gonna export it. It exported. Okay. Alright, we're gonna go to this one first. Let's open the blend file we just exported. Let's open this. Okay, let's make sure this is on. Okay. Okay. This is the hairstyle with the whole body that we just exported. So we're just gonna delete some parts before we get to the hair part. Let's just choose this and just press delete. If you press it while your mouse is in here, then it works better for some reason, for some situations. So we're just also gonna delete the rig because we don't need it. It's nothing to us. We're just gonna need the hair part. Okay, you can see there are 3 different hair pieces here. And they all just look kind of weird when you move it. This is because not all of them are needed. Sims 4 has a head function so the hairs need this different chopped hairstyle look to fit the hairs, to fit the heads. And we don't need that for our game. So we're just gonna need to delete the parts that just add those. Those are not the actual mesh that we need. This is the one we needed. Okay, this is the hair. But you can see there is this part that doesn't actually belong to the hair, but it's just like a part of the head mesh that didn't get deleted for some reason, which is actually a very common thing for Sims hairs. So we're just gonna choose this one, and we're just gonna go with our mouse to this part and just gonna hit L. L is a really useful tool. You just hit it and it just selects the whole thing that is connected to it. And since it's all selected right now, we're just gonna hit delete and go with vertices. And there are still these 2 tiny pieces. We're just gonna delete them too. Okay. So the hair is prepared right now, at least to port to the actual scalp we need. So we're just gonna export this to the object because the weight doesn't really matter what it has in here. We're just gonna export it. We're gonna handle the weights on the other side with the other blender. Okay, this is the part. This is a blend file that I created before. I would suggest creating a template like this if you're gonna port a lot of hairs and such. It makes things a lot easier. Basically, I just imported the custom male shep head to here with import PCK like this one. And I also made sure this div part was shown. For this one, you just select this Pro Matte one. And for this part, when you export a mesh from Mesh Blur, it gives the textures as well. So the texture we need is in here, in Biochar Texture 2D. And it's the face div here. This is helpful in a way that it makes it easier to know where you're supposed to like move down the hair most. So it's not like all the way down here, or you don't just leave it here. It's pretty useful. Okay, now we're just gonna import the object we just exported, the other part, the other side. So Julie's hair is the one we needed, so we're just gonna hit it twice. Okay. Sorry, I just... yeah, that's... okay. This is the one we need. Let's just change the name to Julius, so it's not... we know what this. You can see it's rotated to the other side, but we're just gonna move this blue thing rotated. And we're just gonna hit it minus 90%. Okay, this is what we need. Before I take it down, I also want to import a body mesh. So that since this is a longer hair, it's gonna fit it nice. I already have it open here. Okay, we need... I'm gonna import this one that I made it beforehand. This is one of my mods. Okay. So now we're just gonna select the hair. I'm just gonna hit... First we need to scale it. You can see it's a little bigger than what we need. This is because Sims hairs tends to be a bit bigger than what the Mass Effect needs. So I just hit tab. When you hit tab in the object mode, it just takes you to the edit mode, which is quite useful. And if you press A button, like here, this one, then it just selects it all, which is very useful if you just want to scale it all up. Okay, then I hit S, and then just pull it up with here. There's already a certain scale that I always use. I use this 0.95 for all of them. It's just something I learned to do. Then you just move it down. You can see this part. It needs to be below that. Okay, okay. You can see it doesn't really fit here, I think. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go into the scalp mode. This is the mode we need. And we're gonna choose the elastic deform, which is gonna be your best friend. It's something that's very useful. I also go and change the radius to 100 to make things easier for myself. Let's see if it actually fits. Sometimes you need to check it out from different angles, like here. It may look it fits from the straight ahead, but it doesn't really fit that easily. You need to work a bit on it. You can see there is some here. And here, I think. Okay. How does it look? Yeah, we're gonna fix those weird parts. It's actually quite easy to fix it. Okay. Let's get this here. Okay, we're gonna like use this stuff so that it actually fits the body. Longer hairs has this issue of sticking to other outfits, which isn't always very avoidable because, you know, there's only so much you can lift the hair up until it starts to look weird. So we just do it as much as we can without making it look absolutely horrible in the actual game. I just lift it out a bit. Like this. I think there's also some part inside. Okay. Let's put this in here so it doesn't look so weird. Okay. Maybe a bit like this. Okay, I think it fits well right now. Let's check to make sure this actually fits. Because sometimes you look at that, see? There's this still little part of it. You have to check it on all angles so you don't miss it. There's still some part of those. Makes it weird. Okay. Let's check it from here as well. Yep. Looks nice. Alright. Now, you can see there are these weird shadowy looks like this, like it looks like a patch. We obviously don't want that for this part. So what we're gonna do is just we're gonna click to mesh and we're just gonna hit tab like before. We're gonna fix those parts. First, I would choose the select box so we don't move anything accidentally and just hit this one. Okay, so we're just gonna select these parts. Okay, you can just hit shift to make sure that it doesn't just choose the first one you did. Just keep selecting those weird parts. Okay, see, there is also those parts. We're just gonna make them smoother so it doesn't look so weird. Because it might. Sometimes it does. There are some rare cases where it could handle it, but most of the time it just looks weird in the game. So you have to get rid of them. This apparently doesn't cause any issues with Sims because of the way it works, I guess. It's just not our... It doesn't work that way in our game. We have to fix it. Okay. Okay, I think there's also some here. And this one. Okay, let's check to see if we missed anything. I think we selected them all. But this looks a little weird, so let's select that one too. We can still check it afterwards as well, to make sure it doesn't look weird. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, we're gonna go to Edge, then Clear Sharp. See? Oh, apparently we missed one. Let's do it again. Okay, now we're gonna do Mesh, Cleanup, and Merge by Distance. Okay, see? Okay, this one looks a little weird, so how about we try to check this? And just... I'm gonna try something. Well, not the way I wanted to do. Okay, how about we do this? Let's go mesh, normal, set from face. Okay, it looks better. Okay. Let's do this to here too. Mesh, normal, set from faces. This sometimes fixes the issues like that, which I like, obviously. There is also that here too. Mesh, normal, set from faces. Okay. So all the weights are done properly. It's all good. Well, this part is basically done. So what we're gonna do, and since this one is already fixed as well, let's just delete this one. We don't... Well, let's first delete... No, let's not delete. First, let's do the weight part. I usually do this for this ones. It's not always needed if it's only one mesh, but still doesn't hurt. So we're gonna need 2 bone types for this one since it's longer. We're just gonna go with head and chest 2. Okay, for the head part, let's see how it works. Let's go with weight paint. Gradient is your friend when you're doing weight painting. And make sure it's at 100 or it's at 1 and head is selected. You just drag this. See how easy it is? You have to make sure the head part is actually red, because that's important. And it does look nice. Okay. See, it's such a rainbow-like look. Okay, we're gonna go to the chest now. And we're gonna do the same thing, but from below. Just make sure it doesn't actually affect the actual hard part. Okay, let's do a bit more. This. Okay, let's check how it looks with this one. Make sure it covers every part of the head, like all the hairs. There isn't any hair that isn't covered by one of the bone types, because that would be weird and probably look bad in the game. No, I think it covers them all. Okay, this is basically it. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. See? Hair painting is done. We're gonna check it to see in the game if it actually works well as well, of course. Okay, since those are done, let's just delete these. Okay. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna attach it to the rig. So you just choose this. This. You press Ctrl and P. And this comes up and you just say object keep transform. Okay, it's attached. Now we're gonna do to this part and we're gonna add an armature and just click this. I also changed the name of this to skeleton. Okay. Now, well, we're mostly done now. We're just gonna go to the UV editing. I'm gonna see how big this is. Okay, so we can't change it. If the hair part is the UV part is confined to this section, then you can like make it bigger so that it covers it all. But when it looked like this, I don't really want to touch it because it could break things. We could go to shading now. I want to see how the hair diff looks, but we haven't prepared it yet, but we will after this one. Okay. And now we see there's nothing here yet. So what we're gonna do, this is a hair diff that I created before using the vanilla hair diff, long hair diff. I use it for my creation of the diffs for the hairs. Well, MaxisMatch hairs. I don't really do it that in the other ones. Well, we're gonna do this. Okay. Now what I first do is go to adjustments, hue, saturation, and there's this preset I prepared, like this. These are the numbers it has. You can create it yourself as well. It just makes things greener. Okay. But it's not just gonna be this, because for MaxisMatch hairs, if I just go with this, it's gonna look cartoony in the game, and I don't want that. I want it to look I want it to blend between the other hairs, the base game hairs. So what I do is use this hair that I have created using the base game stuff, and I just put this here. And I go with opacity at 50, so it covers both sides. And let's add another one. Let's put this here. Okay. And again, let's go with opacity 50. Okay, so it covers them both. And it gives the vanilla look while keeping the shades and such from the actual hair's diff. So we're just gonna save this and go L. These are the stuff I choose and then just hit OK. Okay, now we can, let's just refresh this. Okay. Here it is, the hair we have. Let's see how it actually looks, if there's anything weird, something we have to change. And it looks perfectly well. I like it. Okay, so, well, there's this part. Apparently I was supposed to delete it. Let's just delete that part. I must have missed it beforehand. Also, there's this, I can see there's this line here that wasn't supposed to be. Okay. Now we're good. Okay, now we can just export it. It's done. Let's go with, well, I usually use this add-on, but since a lot of people don't have it, let's just go with the regular way. With Julius hairs. Let's go with Julius L. Well, the skeleton I use for this particular hair is the custom head shapes hair, the skeleton, the head skeleton. And the way I import it in the PCC files is I changed a hair that uses that kind of bone count, so it works with that for the first two games. For the third game I use a different one, so I'm gonna extract it again for that one. Let's just use this. We choose this one, then export it. Okay, let's also save this blend file. I would suggest saving blend files like this so you can go back to it. It's just good practice. Let's save it. Okay, for the LE1 one, I'm going to import another hair that I use the bone count of. This is for the third game. I'm not going to show it in the actual porting of it there, but let's do it here too. So you just delete this. It's also a good practice for this part. So you just press Ctrl and P and just go with this. Then delete. Then just choose this. And let's make this skeleton as well. And voila, it is done. Let's just save this again. Okay, 3. I will export this with the other add-on so it is easier for me, since it's gonna make things easier. Let's go with this 3, and we just go with this one. Okay. So since I already have it open, the Autodesk for this one, for the first 2 games thingy, here, we just put this here, and then just convert it. And it is converted, it's added here, see? Okay, so what we're gonna do is just open UD key, redirect, let's put this here, copy it here, okay. You can see this has 42 bones, which is the same as the head bones, so I count. You just save it, and you choose the place you want to save it. Let's go with this. So it's the same place with the div. Okay, it's done. I already have a PC prepared with this, so let's just import the stuff we made here. Let's copy the place here. Okay. Now the model. Just double click it. Choose it. Okay. Alright. For this one, I already created this one. You can see there's a space here. We just backtrack it so it doesn't cause bold hair in the game, which it does cause. I once did that. If you just leave a space here, you can open the game and you can see a bald shepherd looking at you. So we're gonna make sure it doesn't do that. This hair code is basically the PCC name with a dot, then this one, then this model name. That's basically it. So we're just gonna save it. This is the one I use. Then we're just gonna go here and apply it. We're gonna see how it looks in the game. Hopefully it looks good. Okay, let's wait for it to begin. Okay. Finally opening. It's a bit slow due to Origin, but thankfully I still use Origin instead of VIIP. That makes things a lot faster than it would have otherwise. Okay, let's open it. Okay, it's Thomas 56. Let's see. Okay, this is exciting. Hey, okay. Nice. Okay, there's no issues. It looks nice. Alright then. You can just take pictures, which I will eventually, and this is basically how you port a hair, a MaxisMatch one. The alpha ones look a bit different. You need to adjust the mirror, the normals. And I will probably make a visual guide for that eventually as well when I start working on my Shop hair poke pack, which will use alpha hairs in the future. But yeah, this is basically it. Hope it was helpful for everyone who was trying to port MaxisMatch hairs. Have a nice day.